Okay, for this segment, we are gonna do a rapid fire questions. On Instagram, I told you guys to ask me any question that you guys wanted, so I'm just gonna be answering them as fast as I can. And I selected like 10 or 12, so it's a good amount. And if you're asking why I'm in this position instead of standing up, I'm sorry, I'm just very very comfortable in this position and I do not want to move. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna get started. Next says, say something in French. Parlez-vous français? Oui, oui, bonjour, or je t'aime. That's all I know how to say. And I actually don't know what any of those words mean. Why are you a Gemini? I'm a Gemini because I'm born in the Gemini month. I don't even know what to tell you. You know, I can't choose. It's not like when I was born on this earth, I could choose, hey, do you want to be a Sagittarius or an Aquarius or a Leo? I didn't get to choose. So I'm just a Gemini because I was born that way. I was born that way. How do you cook and eat so much and not get fat? Well, I think fat is like subjective, right? So everyone has a definition of fat and skinny, but for me, the reason why I don't really gain that much weight after I eat is because I think people see me cook like wings, pasta, steak, and so on, and they think that I eat a lot of it. But in reality, whenever you're cooking and like you touch the ingredients and you smell it and you see it and you hear it sizzling, by the end of the journey, when you finally have your plate, you don't want to eat that shit. Like, you're tired of it. Like, there will be days where I cook steak, I cook lobster, I cook pasta, and by the time that I'm done filming the video and done cooking, I just set it aside and I make myself ramen noodles. Has anyone saw you in public then asked if they could have a picture with you? Yes. To think that people like you enough to want to take a picture with you is fucking crazy to me, because I'm just a regular ass dude, you know, I'm just me. But recently I was at Target and these two twins that work there, they walked up to me and they asked for a picture. Whenever you see me in public, please say hi. Do not be nervous to come up to me because I'm more terrified than you are. Swear to God. Make an OnlyFans, please. Did I read that shit right? Make an only. Do you consider yourself lucky or hardworking or a little bit of both? I think both. For everyone's career on social media, there has to have a component of luck in it. Like, no one just wakes up and they're not lucky and they just make it in social media all of a sudden, you know. There always has to be a component of luck. But in addition to that, I would like to think that I'm hardworking too, you know. I think a lot of people have the misconception I can't even speak right now. But a lot of people have the misconception that social media people just, all they do is post bikini butt pictures in Malibu and, you know, type captions from Drake songs and shit. But the majority of influencers or, you know, social media people, they work very hard behind the scenes, you know. There's a lot of things that go behind it. Like, for me, if you look at my videos, 1 minute videos, you would think, oh, he probably takes like 30 minutes to do a max. No, each 1 minute video, I had to spend a minimum of like 4 to 5 hours just for 1 minute. It is a lot of work, but would I trade it for the world? No. I don't complain about it, you know, because I think it's fun. It's work, but at the same time it's not work. So I think both, you know, you have to be lucky and you have to be hardworking. What's the first thing you do in the morning? So the first thing I do in the morning is I go on my phone. I'm probably on my phone for like 30 minutes to an hour, which is probably bad saying it out loud now. But I go on TikTok, I go check on my emails, I check my social media. And the first thing that I do after I get out of bed is I go into the living room and I bully my sister for a little bit, you know. I just walk in the living room and I go like this: Yvonne, shut the fuck up! And she could be saying nothing at all, you know. She could be sleeping, but I'll still tell her to shut up. I just want to bother her. I just want to disrupt her peace, honestly. And yeah, that's some sibling shit. If you're an only child, you probably don't understand, but if you have an older sister or you have an older brother, you probably understand what I'm talking about. Have you ever felt like completely giving up at one point in your life? What did you do to overcome it? Damn, this question is kind of serious. I'm gonna put the camera down because we're getting a little bit emotional. So her question is very valid. Everyone has, you know, a point where they want to give up. And for me, that happened when I think when I was 19, 20. I went through this phase of like a year and a half of like very a downward slope, all right, because I was dealing with a lot of skin related issues. Like, I was dealing with severe acne all over my forehead, all over my face, all over my neck, as well as eczema on top of acne, which is when my skin is super dry and it's very uncomfortable and it's scaly. I'm editing right now, but I just thought I'd let you guys know that looking back at my eczema, that shit was so funny, because if you look at my eyebrows, right? Is that a car? Back when I have eczema, I lost half of my eyebrows on this side. So this part was gone. This part was also gone. So looking back at it, it just reminds me of like when you're downloading like a big file on the internet and it's stuck at 50%. That's what my eyebrows looked like anyways. And I had that all over my body as well as my face and my back, which is my body, so I don't even know why I said my face and my back. I was dealing with those two things, eczema, acne, and on top of that, the icing on the cake, I was also dealing with alopecia areata, which is when you lose hair. And for me in particular, I lost like this big ass chunk of hair on the side of my head. Okay, so funny story about the alopecia areata. What you're seeing, the picture that you just saw, was at the beginning phase when it was still like kind of young, right? So it was like this big. It eventually got bigger, like more of like this size. And how I got it fixed was I went to the dermatologist so that they can inject like some type of steroid shot into the area. And when I saw the syringe, I was like, huh? The needle was like 3 inches long. I swear to God, all right? Every single time that he poked me, I felt it in my brain. And he didn't even inject me just once. He did it like 10, 12 times. I was like, at this point, I might as well keep the missing hair, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of like it now. If I knew I had to go through this shit, I might as well just stayed home, you know what I mean? But yeah, scary. I was dealing with acne, eczema, and a huge chunk of hair loss that didn't grow back for like a year. During that time, I was probably at my lowest. I had nobody to talk to. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't even have the confidence to go outside and sit at a restaurant, you know? Like, there would be days I would go eat with my sister and we would be at the restaurant in the parking lot, in the car, and I would see my face through the mirror and I would just like kind of mentally break down and I'd just be like, you know what, let's just go home. I don't want to eat anymore. And there would be a lot of days where I couldn't even gather the confidence to leave my house to get food, you know? I couldn't even go to the gym because I didn't have the confidence. Everywhere I went, like, people would stare at me and it was just a horrible time. And during that shit time, thankfully, we live in a day and age where there's a lot of content out there. There's podcasts, TMG podcasts I listen to, Ben Baller's podcast. I also watch a lot of David's vlogs. I watched like every single vlog. I watched a lot of movies. So basically what I did was I ran away from my problems. But I'm not an expert, so do not take my advice at all, okay? The best thing I would recommend you to do is just to talk to people, try to find hobbies, and I hope what you're going through doesn't last and you can come out of it stronger, you know? Okay, last question from Parsha. She says, credit card number? I asked you guys for questions and you asked for my credit card number? Are you serious right now? Parsha, I will give you my credit card number, I swear to God, if you give me your social security number, all right? I'll be waiting for your DM, Parsha. And yeah, that concludes it. That's it. This YouTubing shit is easy, bro. I'm a YouTuber.